Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for installment of Scott's Selections here for Friday, May 26th. For again today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a loss in hockey with the Golden Knights money line at plus 101 on Bet Online. Pretty rough beat for us as the Golden Knights trailed for 0 seconds in the entire game, and they still lost because the Golden Knights led 1-0 and 2-1 in regulation. They blew both leads, took a dumb penalty in overtime, and lost the game via power play goal in the first couple minutes of overtime. So the Golden Knights once again trailed for 0 seconds in regulation, and we still pick up a loss. So pretty rough there. Still like the value at plus 101. Just was unfortunate. Vegas couldn't take a 2-goal lead at any point despite having some chances. But either way, we're going to look for a winner here on Friday. However, I do want to kind of discuss the game plan for the videos for the next 2 days. I'm going to be doing the basketball video for this episode on Friday because I'm going to do the French Open episode for Saturday because the French Open is starting on Sunday at roughly 5 a.m. and I wanted to do a tennis video. So for that reason, I'll do the basketball now, do the tennis tomorrow. So that is why we're going to be looking ahead to Game 6 between the Celtics and the Heat now, which will be taking place on Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this game, we're going to take the road team here. We're going to take the Celtics money line at minus 135 on Bet Online. Time of recording of 5 a.m. on Friday Eastern Time. Covering why we're going to take the Celtics in the spot. First reason, Boston has really turned the corner in the series as they have won each of the last 2 games by at least 13 points. And the real story here has been Boston's emerging, or at least I'd say increasing defensive success, while Miami's offense has been quite underwhelming lately, as the Heat have scored less than 100 points in each of the last 2 games. And even though part of the reason is because Boston's defense has made some adjustments, a big issue has been the injuries for Miami's supporting cast. And I have to at least mention those. So Gabe Vincent, who's averaging 17.5 points per game in the series, he had a game high in Game 3. He ended up injuring his ankle in Game 4, and as a result, he did miss Game 5, so that's a pretty big deal. On top of that, Kyle Lowry ended up injuring his finger in Game 5, seemed to really be bothering him, so I am wondering how effective he's going to be. Truth is, Lowry has not really been good in the series anyway, but he's still the backup point guard. And I also want to mention that Caleb Martin, who's been very good for Miami, ended up landing awkwardly in Game 5 early on. He stayed in the game, so I'm not sure if he's really that impacted by it, but I at least wanted to bring it up that he might be a little bit below 100%. But the point is, with Hero being out, they were kind of limited bench-wise anyway, and now Vincent might not play in Game 6. Lowry's banged up, and Martin might potentially be banged up. I'm assuming Martin's fine, but I at least wanted to bring it up. The point is Miami really doesn't have many great bench options anymore if Vincent's going to be well below 100% or if he's going to be out of the lineup. And looking at Boston, this team has definitely woken up offensively. We've seen Tatum play very well for the last couple of games, had 30-plus points in Game 4, had a double-double, almost a triple-double in Game 5. So he's been solid. Jaylen Brown's been pretty quiet, but he was very efficient in Game 5, so I do wonder if maybe he'll be able to keep that momentum going in Game 6, since he has been a bit quiet so far in the series. But Marcus Smart was great yesterday. You saw Derek White have a game-high 24 points, hit a bunch of threes. We've seen Grant Williams have good games at times. The point is Boston does seem like they're getting more contributions from the bench lately, or at least the supporting cast. And as a result, I do kind of question if Miami has enough offensive firepower to get the job done here in Game 6. And besides the bench unit, I got to mention the starters because of the fact that Miami's starters have been quite underwhelming lately as well, as Adebayo has kind of no-showed the last couple of games offensively. He scored less than 17 points in each of the last 3 games, and Jimmy Butler has been a bit quiet lately, as he has scored less than 17 points in 2 of the last 3 games. Now, you could argue that Miami has been kind of pacing itself because they know that they have Game 6 in their back pocket, and I am expecting Game 6 at home to be a very, very tough battle there. I think Miami's going to give it their best shot because realistically, if they lose Game 6 at home, they're probably going to lose Game 7 on the road. But the point is, Miami offensively has really just been a mess. And it does seem like Boston has kind of solved Miami's zone. They're getting good looks, and it does seem like the shooting variance has kind of evened out in the series since Miami could not miss for the first couple of games, and Boston couldn't really hit for the first couple of games, and now it's completely flipped. The point is, I do think Boston defensively and offensively just have more talent. Simply put, there's a reason why Boston was the 2 seed in the regular season while Miami was the 7, which turned into the 8 because of the play-in. But the point is Miami was the Cinderella story because of how improbable the run actually was. And I think we're really starting to all witness the warts of this team. It just seems like this team, with the injuries and the occasional lack of consistency with Butler and with Adebayo, it does seem like the tide has completely turned in the series, and I do kind of have more faith in Boston to put together a great effort on both ends of the floor. Now, once again, it's not going to be easy, and this game's going to be tough, but I do think that Boston, who's been very good in Miami lately, is going to look pretty sharp once again. And the Celtics are 5-2 ATS in the last 7 meetings in Miami. So Boston has traveled well here in the past. They were able to win game 4 on the road, which might be able to build them some confidence for this game in a hostile environment. But until Miami supporting cast kind of wakes up again, I do think Boston should be able to get better looks throughout this game. And I think as a result, Boston will find a way to win this game, probably somewhere in the 5-point range, give or take. But to actually take it safe, I'm going to take the money line. Play that once again here for Friday, May 26th is going to be on the Celtics money line at -135 on Bet Online. Bye, everyone.